Hi everyone, Kimberly Mackey with New Home Solutions here. Today I want to talk to you about the reality of what happens 2 weeks after you have the big training session. Think about it, and this year I started off the year with a bang with several of these that came right out of the gate to do a 3-day boot camp. They're always fantastic. Everybody gets really pumped up and excited. They come away with lots of ideas and all these things that they're going to change. We even have everyone sit down and write down the top 3 things that they're going to implement immediately, set up their goals, and the sales manager's on board, the leadership is on board, everybody's really excited about it. The first week back, everybody does a great job. They're still super excited, all that energy and that enthusiasm and excitement. People start to implement things. And they start to make lots of phone calls. They start to schedule lots of appointments for sales. The sales manager is right there with them. He's calling them. He's meeting with them, scheduling appointments and making sure that he's there. What do they need? How can we make this thing happen? Sound familiar? Yeah, we see this all the time. The challenge starts at week 2. Because by week 2, now we're getting busy again. So we've gone through our little roller coaster dip we ramped down for the training, and now we ramped back up after the training. But now the reality of what day to day is starting to set back in. And that's where the problem happens, because everybody gets really, really busy, and the sales manager gets busy, and he starts to cancel appointments with the salespeople, or he allows salespeople to make appointments with customers at a time when they were supposed to be meeting with him to do a planned encounter. Then the division leadership schedules their meetings, craziness ensues, a customer needs assistance in some way, shape, or form, and basically we go back to the normal way that life is in the home building industry. The key here is leaving the salespeople to fend for themselves at this point, even though things are going really well, and assuming that we're going to get right back on that horse and we're going to do better next week is absolutely the wrong path to take after you just spent all of this time, energy, and money on the sales training, getting the whole company to agree that they were going to make some changes. Then week 3 happens. Everyone is starting to say, training? What training? Was that just 3 weeks ago? It seems like a lifetime ago. Old habits are now fully back in force. How can you break the cycle? What do we need to do to break that cycle? I tell people all the time, and they look at me like I'm crazy because of course I'm thought of as a sales trainer, perhaps even more so than a management consultant, but they hear me say things like, guys, training by itself just doesn't work. And they think I'm insane. It's true though. We can't just have training. There has to be a plan for what happens after the training. And that plan needs someone to help hold the company, the leadership, everyone accountable, because that accountability starts at the top. And if our sales managers go off the rails and go back to the administrivia, the customer demands, the marketing, the budgets, the weekly leadership meetings, all of those normal things that take us away and push our salespeople further and further from our priority, then that's exactly what happens with our salespeople. They start pushing those things and the changes further and further from their priority as well. It's much easier just to daily go back through the motions and do the things that we were doing all along. By the week 3, that's the hardest part. And that's where we really need to have that plan, stick to the plan, hold our planned encounters and our meetings, and continue to push forward, because by the 4th week, that's where we're really truly starting to create the new habits, and that's where the company then can start to see some real direction. Without consistency and support from leadership, you cannot expect consistency and support from your sales team. And most importantly, none of that will lead to success. So I encourage you, train, because training in and of itself may be expensive, but not training is even more so. But have a plan. How are you going to implement the training? And how are you going to hold each other accountable going forward?